Sean Lynn in the pub for a Dram with Friends, where we talk about faith, family, food, and fun. Pull up a chair and I'll pour you a drink. Episode 36. We are joined in the pub today by my good friend Wil Konybai. He's going to talk about his journey from Sudan to CSSD. Sit down as I pour us a dram. Welcome to another episode of A Dram with Friends. We are extremely excited to welcome an old friend, Wil Konybai, to the pub. Welcome, Wil.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Wil doesn't drink, so I'm going to just support him and have a little bit of coffee in my cup. Blessed are the peacemakers, because that's how we ended up meeting, was through my role in the police service. And for the friends in the pub, Wil, who is Wil Konybai?
Wil Konybai is a young man from South Sudan. I've been in Canada for about 16 years, and I moved here with my mom and my three brothers. And when I was 13, I met Sean. Actually, he met me. He ran into me at a mall. I was with my brother that day, and from there, Sean just took me under his wing, and he has helped me throughout high school and university, and he continues to help me till today. So.
Well, and one of the reasons I wanted to invite you to the pub today is you just finished graduating your teaching certificate from St. Mary's University here in Calgary. So I wanted to say congratulations, and I am extremely proud of all your accomplishments, but the fact that you're now a newly minted teacher here in Calgary. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I graduated. I just finished my practicum on Thursday, and I always say, it's a big accomplishment, but without Sean, I don't think that would have been possible at all, because he was the one that paved the way for me, and he continued to succeed. He's an angel from God that has been blessed to help me out.
Well, I don't know about angel, but it's. I truly believe that God has put us together for a reason, and I am extremely thankful to know you. And it's you that has made the choices and followed the path that you have, and continue to be a role model, as far as I'm concerned, for many of the young men, especially for those from the Sudan and Africa, and I couldn't be more proud of where you have come from and what you have accomplished in your short time, and I'm excited to see where God leads us next. So,
thank you. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna start teaching here. My goal is always to give back and help out other young men, here in Calgary, Canada, and beyond. Just like what you did for me. You didn't have to, but I know that there's no way I can pay you back for what you've done for me. But what I'm gonna do is help other people as well. And being in teaching, I think, would be one of the ways to do that and help out those kids in school, because you met me just when I was in high school, just about going through life. So I'm going to do the same for those other kids who need me just like I needed you.
Well, and I think you bring up an important topic, message, whatever you want to call it, that to encourage other men to walk, especially with younger men who are looking for that help, that guidance, that belief that they have what's in them to succeed. So that's part of being a disciple of Jesus, is just recognizing the dignity of each person that we meet, and I am just honored to be part of your journey. So I know that basketball has been a big part of your life, and it's many young men love the game of basketball. So that's a good opportunity to engage people, and that's what worked for you, was keeping you focused on the basketball,
Yeah.
and that's where, for our U.S. friends, I was part of a program called Youth at Risk Development, and through some funding, we were able to help Wil get on the Alberta team and pay for him to go to nationals, and on another traveling team that went to Vegas for some. We had lots of interesting journeys, like getting you a passport.
Yeah, and getting me that permanent resident card that expired. That took about a year, and I remember like you never gave up on me, even how hard it was. You had to make so many phone calls, like for like months. Took us a year till we got it. I
So
remember
for
that
those
journey.
government bureaucrats out there, me with at the time I think I had like 27 years of policing, and my partner, who was a social worker, Nadine, had a master's in social work, and we're struggling to get this paperwork done properly. I think they sent it back 3 times.
Yeah,
How how do you expect a single mom with little to no formal education to do this?
I know. I remember like we kept asking my mom like what they needed with the paperwork, and it's just like I don't know. I'm not sure. Even though we sent in everything, and finally it took 1 year until we got everything. And for me, that was really good. That you never gave up. You never said, I can't do this. I can't help you. You just kept pushing for one
But
whole
you
year.
you never gave up either. And I remember, for the young men out there, I remember you and I having a conversation about university basketball, and you're saying, I'm going to university to play basketball, and I'm saying, no, you're playing basketball to get a university education. And it switched for you about the year two, where that mindset changed. Why was that?
um, like that mindset actually it changed because I look back. Like what I do is that every year, like I always look back. I always look back to why I'm at where I'm at to kind of reflect. And I remember in year two looking back and thinking about that conversation, especially when I sat down with my coach and we were talking about my grades, how they were like so much better. And he said, like you can get this grades up really high, and then you can even get to go to school and get your master's for free. And I was like, oh really? I could do that? He's like, yes. So I remember that's when I looked back at our conversation and I was like, wow. I was like, this is what Sean was trying to tell me, that I'm going to university to play basketball, but to get a university degree. And this could actually open more doors for me to do a lot more. And that actually ended up becoming true because my degree that I just got from St. Mary's University, I didn't pay for it. I got it because of the grade that I had from Nipissing University. So
Well, you graduated from Nipissing with honors, didn't you? And
I did. Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
did.
that's incredible. And and during that time, you also were given opportunities through a program that I was part of at the Center for Newcomers in the University of Calgary
Yeah,
with Dr. Wee Nguyen, and you got an opportunity to go to Ghana.
yeah. That was big for me too. Yeah, that was another thing that changed my mind too. That helped me like to value education more than just basketball. Because I remember like when you got me that opportunity to go to Ghana, and then when I went to Ghana, it just reminded me of like being in South Sudan, and that was your intention. You said like that's an opportunity for you to go somewhere like home. And when I was in Ghana, I just saw that life was difficult and things were hard. And I said, you know what? Like I'm blessed to be able to go to university, be in a place where I can get some help and help others and be in a safe place. So when I came back, I'm like, you know what? I have to stay focused and do well in school and be able to give back to those who have helped me.
And that's so exciting, especially in today's world where, like, you and I shouldn't even be friends in the pub, according according to the world. But
Yeah,
uh, I, and I've always approached working with young men, but you especially is viewing them as one of my sons. What would I do if this was my son? And uh, you, that's where the pride part comes out in me, like a good pride, not a bad pride, that just watching you grow as a man and seeing where the Lord's leading you, and we're I'm just excited to see your next steps and where you end up. I hopefully it's at St. Francis where I'm the SRO someday, but
that'd be nice.
so what other hobbies? What do you do for fun now that schooling's officially over? What's the plans for the summer?
For the summer, just I'm looking for jobs now, just to try and help out, just to try and get some substitute teaching jobs. And then in the summer, I'm gonna try, like hopefully, if COVID slows down, I'll try and just work in the community and get some kids into playing basketball. Just invite them to a park and just train them, keep them active. So me and a couple of friends are gonna try and do that just for free, just to get the kids active. 'Cause
That's
after COVID,
awesome. That's awesome. So, Dr. Brian Zoomless, if you're listening to this, you've got a eager young teacher here that wants to get a job at CSSD. So, shameless plug. But uh, and your journey is been one of perseverance, and I think that's what some young men need, that kind of encouragement. So having you go and play basketball with them, I know we've done some camps together, and the boys just absolutely loved that when we were doing that, right, in the police gym pre-COVID.
yeah, those were fun times.
and and old white men jump just a little, right?
No, you could actually jump pretty high, and you could run so fast. I remember when you were racing against Korean. That was fun just to see that. I was happy like to do those camps just to see you like just trying so hard to encourage these young men to try their best. Because I remember like even just standing on the sideline, you getting in there and saying, "Hey, like like I'm gonna steal the ball from you, and then jumping so high for a layup. I remember that. That was fun. We have to do that again.
Yes, yes, we do. Well, and that's the thing is, uh, there's no right way to engage young men, and I really want to encourage our listeners out there to just, if you see a young man walking down the street, give him the smile, acknowledge that they're there, and encourage them when you have the opportunity. So
That's that's very true. Yeah, I think a lot of it is a lot of young men are going through difficult times, and all they need is just someone to be like, "Hey, I recognize you. You matter. Keep your chin up, and you know, God bless you."
well, and yeah, now I've got you introduced to our good friend Father Cristino, and hopefully you get involved with that young group there because they need men like you in, and we need men like you in the church, encouraging and being part of our church. So I'm so happy to see where you're going and what you're doing, and I know that God's got some great plans for you. Now we gotta. I know you've helped on the grill a little bit, but we gotta sharpen your culinary skills, right? Because we talk about some food here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
I can't wait to do that again. Yeah, once COVID COVID ends, we'll be able to go out again and make some food for the homeless again, like you do sometimes.
well, and you've helped when we've done some other like football camps or graduations and with our barbecue outreach. So you've done a lot of volunteering and giving back and I remember some of the food that your mom brought for your when we celebrated your graduation from Nipissing University. So eating some of that traditional Sudanese food was quite good.
I'm gonna have to bring you some one of these days.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when hopefully very soon we can start meeting again and having some time and seeing where we're going. I was talking to one of the teachers at St. Francis, Matt Sawyer, and he talked about coaching you back in
Yeah.
the day when you were just a young guy, and he's moved on for temporarily from St. Francis. He's there's a new CSSD racial committee that he's going to go be part of, so that's pretty exciting. And he was excited to hear about you graduating too. So.
Oh yeah, Matt Sawyer. Yeah, he coached me with the Genesis team. Like remember when you helped me get on that team too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he coached me on the U15 team. Yeah, he's one of the people that had a lot of impact on my life as well. Just having him, like sharing his story, like while I was playing, he would always tell me, Will, you always gotta work hard no matter what, and when you work hard, good things happen. And I remember him saying that, and him being a teacher, kind of he just motivated people like us, to wanna reach higher, and just it motivated us to work hard and know that anything is possible.
Yeah, and that's the thing is there's so many people that touch each of our lives and help each of us either walk side by side or coach, mentor, or just being open to listening to the wisdom of others. And that's one of the things that you're very good at is taking in wisdom from wherever it comes from. So I really appreciate your openness to learning and your eagerness to learning. So and that's where, yeah, I'm looking forward to where we're going. And so in one of my segments, as you well know, a lot of young men are struggling, and a lot of young men even question what a man is. So what advice, I know it's not that long ago, what advice do you give your 18-year-old self?
Uh, my 18-year-old self, like if I would say that being a man is, it's difficult. You have responsibilities, and always, always be a role model. So you have to be able to conduct yourself in a positive manner, where other young men who are coming of age, like the 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds, so they can look up to you and follow you as an example. So that's what I would say to myself as an 18-year-old, to just be a positive role model for those kids who are coming after me, or even people my age as well. Because nowadays it's very hard to find that person who's a role model, especially at 18, because of the world we're living in today. It's just very, very hard.
Thank you. And yeah, it is hard, and looking for that wisdom wherever we can find it. I've got I told you about the book. I got to get it to you about one of our previous guests, Jim Sano, wrote a book called Gus Busby, which I think I'd be very interested to get your take on it, because basketball's one of the central themes, and just the dynamics between it's about a young man, much like yourself, and the path he's choosing. So it'd be interesting to get your perspective on that book. So I'll have to get that copy to you. And
Yeah.
one of the other things, my buddy Jeff Cavins, he talks about riding with your posse, and maybe you're not as familiar with many of the saints in the Catholic Church, but is there a saint that you is a go-to for you, or that you encourages your walk, or you pray with?
Um, yeah, like for me, I would say, like Don Bosco.
Yeah.
It's someone I've always looked up to. Just from like the past, like living in Egypt. Like I went to a Don Bosco church, and learning about him, how he helped so many people, and just by bringing in kids like into his church and helping them to grow as young responsible adults, which in turn help like people around them to be like better people. So Don Bosco, it's someone I always think about. Like just when I pray, I say, God, help me to be able to help other people. Like give me strength to see good in everybody. And yeah.
I can't think of a better suited saint. That's awesome. That he did so much work with young men that yeah, that's an awesome role model for all of us to look to. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I've really enjoyed our walk together, and I look forward to see where God leads it. And I hope that I'm part of your walk for years to come. And normally I have a whiskey, which is the origin is Ishkabaha, is the Gaelic word, which means water of life. And our prayer is that you will lead many, especially young men, to the true water of life, which is our Lord Jesus. And like I said, I look forward to walking with you and seeing where the Lord leads you. I'm excited to be on this journey, and thank you for joining us in the pub today.
Thank you for having me in the pub today. It was, it's always good to, sit down with you and just talk, because that's what we did in the past. We would meet up at Tim Hortons and just talk. Me spilling everything kind of, it gives me that chance to reflect. By talking about it, I'm reflecting, and that actually helps me in next step. So it's always good to do that, and I miss that. Hopefully after COVID, we'll be able to get back to that.
We will definitely get back to that. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of A Dram with Friends. Like and subscribe. Go to all podcast platforms to look for it on podcast, or go to godsquad.ca to support our mission.